It is Indiana in the Morning, presented by First Commonwealth Bank on the Voice of Indiana County, WCCS 101.1 FM and AM 1160. And our interview with Dr. Bonnie Taub-Dix, nutritionist, is on the air with us right now, and that is being presented by Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. Doctor, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing fine, thank you. How are you?
Doing excellent. Of course, you are the award-winning author of Read It Before You Eat It, taking you from label to table. And, of course, you've got a blog going called Better Than Dieting. So what is better than dieting? Because I might need a couple of these tips myself.
Well, I think that sometimes diet sounds like a four-letter word, but it's really not, because our diets are really what sustains us every single day of our lives. And I think that it's just so important that, especially in these unsettling times when so much is unknown, what we do know for sure is that parents and children alike, that they need the fuel of good food to energize them and to keep them going through our busy and sometimes really stressful days.
If you'll pardon the expression, I seem to remember an old cartoon saying, "You know what diet is? Die with a T on it." But I don't think that that's the case. Do you know
what diet means? Diet actually means way of life. So we're supposed to be incorporating good diets into our lives, not changing our lives for our diets. And I think that that's a mistake that a lot of people make. Like, for example, it's so easy to eat a healthy diet. You could look at something like even as simple as strawberries, whether they're frozen or fresh. They contain vitamin C. In fact, they have all the vitamin C that you need in a day. And you could eat them in so many different ways, so there's really no excuse not for having them. You could have them at breakfast on your cereal. You could have them at lunch in your salad, in a smoothie in the afternoon. So there are just so many different ways to incorporate healthy foods that really are so important for us, rich in nutrients, and even can help support a healthy immune system, which, of course, we know is so important now.
You said strawberries. I immediately thought of smoothies. So do you have any other ideas for smoothies that maybe we can prep ahead of time so that we don't have to worry about the hassle of taking care of things right in the middle of the morning?
Yep, absolutely. In fact, the easy thing about smoothies is that you could just do it the night before. So before you go to bed, just pop everything into the bowl of a blender and stick it in your fridge. And you could add strawberries, you could add some almond butter, you could add some one of your favorite milks, whether it is almond milk or any kind of milk that you like, and you could even add veggies, because the flavor of strawberries or maybe even some banana is a strong flavor, and a good strong flavor. So you could just add maybe some spinach leaves or even carrots and blend it up in the morning, and then you have just something that you could take and either leave your home or have it while you're doing other things, because we know we multitask and so many people are working from home now, that you could just have this smoothie that would be really valuable to carry you through the morning.
It seems that we've become kind of a snack-conscious culture, or maybe snack-unconscious culture, because I inevitably will wind up at some points, sometime during the week, blindly just eating crackers out of a box or eating chips out of a bag. You know how that goes. So we've become a snack culture, and there's got to be some way to make things healthier. I mean, making the switch maybe from crackers to carrots might be something as simple as that.
Well, I don't know how realistic that would be for most people. However, what I will say is that we need to start treating snacks as if they're mini meals. So just like meals, I always believe that you need to have a trifecta, meaning protein, carbohydrate, and fat. So once you put together those three strong components, kind of think of like three legs of a stool where they support each other, then you have an ideal meal or snack. So you could do something like, let's even say a toasted waffle with some almond butter on top of it and some sliced strawberries. That would be a fabulous snack, because you have your carbs, protein, and healthy fats in there.
That sounds like a good breakfast, too.
It's a perfect breakfast. So that's what I mean, is like a lot of these are interchangeable for snacks or breakfast. You just may want to have a little bit of a bigger portion size for breakfast, but the quantity and the quality of the snack or meal would be the same. In fact, on my website, betterthandieting.com, you'll find recipes for my muffins, and you can make mini muffins and pair them with cottage cheese and strawberries or something like that. And they really taste so decadent, but they're really healthy, and they help carry you through the day. There's even a lot of recipes on CaliforniaStrawberries.com, and you'll find lots of recipes there, too, where you just could incorporate these healthy foods into other creations that are so delicious. Your whole family will love them.
You've been mentioning fruits, and fruits is a lot here as part of the way to kind of get ourselves into some healthy snacking or to some healthy breakfast. What are some other unexpected items from the fridge and freezer that are going to help us ramp up our snack game?
Well, besides fruits and veggies, you mean?
Well, I was saying besides fruits. Vegetables can definitely be included in what you're saying.
Vegetables too. Yep. In fact, it's really important. A great way to think about this is that fruits and vegetables should take up about 50% of the real estate on your plate. And if you could try to make a habit of that at every meal or snack, you've already got it made. And then the other 2/4 would be some sort of protein food and some sort of grain. So as long as you could make that combo, then it really would be wonderful. Even something like yogurt as a base with some cereal on top of it, any kind of cold cereal that you like, and then maybe some sliced fruit on top of that.
You're making me hungry. You know that, don't you? We're talking with this is Indiana in the Morning. We are talking with Dr. Bonnie Taub-Dix about some easy hacks and breakfast ideas that the whole family can enjoy. So we've been talking about the importance of fruits and vegetables. In fact, you were saying just now that vegetables should probably take up 1/2 of the plate. Serving size really is important when it comes to the way of life, when it comes to eating or our diet, as you say. I keep hearing the tip of maybe your protein should be no bigger than a deck of cards, for example, or some other hacks along those lines.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think that the impression of what we need is kind of off for so many people, and that's why they have a hard time balancing out their diet. They think that we need a lot more protein than we actually do need, and carbs have gotten a bad rap over the years when, in fact, the right carbohydrates, whole grain carbohydrates, and fruits and veggies that are carbs provide so much energy and vitamins and minerals and so many nutrients that we need, and fiber that we're not getting enough of. I think that it's a big mistake to really limit your carbohydrates, but the problem with carbs sometimes is the company it keeps. A baked potato is healthy for you, but if you're loading it up with sour cream and bacon bits, then that's more of a problem than the potato itself.
Yeah, I can see that. Butter and salt, that's all I would probably need. And pepper, too. So keep it simple when it comes to stuff like that, and keep it natural. It seems like a lot of people are going back to, I guess, what we would call a natural diet, getting away from the pre-processed stuff and getting back to kind of the roots of food itself, having it like farm to table and things like that.
Yes, I think that is helpful if you can do that, eating food that looks as close to it looked when it was in the ground. But also something that has gotten a bad name is processed food, and it's really highly processed food that's a problem for us, those with lots of sugar and salt and unhealthy fat in it. Processed food is not necessarily a problem, but you need to read food labels. That's why I wrote my book. My whole book is about how to shop for the healthiest food in the store, because if you're not waking up in the morning chewing on a stalk of wheat. You're eating a piece of bread. And if you eat a piece of whole grain bread that's really healthy for you, that was processed. If you peel a carrot from a farmer's market, you just processed it by peeling it. So the word processed is not a bad word. It just depends on how highly processed it is, and really taking a good look at that ingredient list to see what's actually in there.
Okay, so you were mentioning some easy ways to kind of swap out when it comes to wheat and carbohydrates. So the thing I thought of immediately was maybe in your next stir fry, you swap out the white rice you use for maybe whole grain brown rice or something along those lines. And also you're mentioning some whole wheat bread instead of maybe the white bread that many people have grown up on, yours truly included. But when you say whole wheat bread, you come across another issue I think that is probably at the paramount of everything when it comes to improving one's diet, and that is the taste of things. Because a lot of times some foods get a bad rap because they don't taste very good.
Yeah, so surveys have found that taste is the number one driver of why we choose the foods we choose. But you shouldn't have to suffer and not eat foods that you love just because you're trying to be healthy. There are so many delicious, healthy foods. You know, we talked about strawberries before. If you go to buy frozen strawberries in the supermarket and you look at the ingredient list and see what's in there, you'll see strawberries. So that's a food that is frozen. People may consider it to be processed because it was frozen, but yet all it has in it is wholesome strawberries. So I think that there's a misconception about what it is that is really even healthy.
Yeah.
Healthy is a food that, you know, now they're trying to figure out how to define healthy. Look at the word natural. The word natural doesn't even have a definition. So any food company could call their food natural, and it's according to their own definition. So it's a word that draws people in. It's probably the hottest word on a food label is natural.
Having been a fan
And
of...
it doesn't even...
Go ahead.
But it doesn't even have a definition. No one knows what it really means. Sugar is natural. Salt is natural.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's good for you.
Right. Having been a fan of Good Eats, I definitely know about all of those words that don't technically have a meaning with the Food and Drug Administration or the USDA or things like that. So we're just about out of time, but I wanted to give you time to promote that book again. It was, and you said it was all about reading labels. It's called... it's called, once again, Read It Before You Eat It, taking you from label to table. Where can people pick it up?
You could find it on Amazon. You could find it on my website, which is betterthandieting.com. And for some really great, and I have some really delicious recipes there too. And if you'd like some other strawberry-driven recipes, it's californiastrawberries.com.
You're making me hungry once again. Dr. Bonnie Taub-Dix, thank you very much for joining us on Indiana in the Morning. And thankfully, I'm going grocery shopping today, so I'll be sure to pick up some good healthy fruits and vegetables today. Thanks again.
Don't forget to read those. Don't forget to read those labels, and thank you for having me.
I'll read those labels. Thanks again. Dr. Bonnie Taub-Dix joining us this morning here on Indiana in the Morning. All of our interviews are presented by Marcus and Mack, a law firm representing injured people.